Thanksgiving at my parents' house had always been predictable. My mother cooked too much food. My father watched football while pretending to help. And my older sister, Melissa, somehow ended up being the center of attention for the entire evening. That year was no different. The dining table was covered with turkey, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, stuffing, and more dishes than our small family could possibly eat. Your one click can keep these stories alive. Subscribe, because every voice deserves to be heard. Melissa walked in late, as usual, but when she entered, my parents reacted like a celebrity had arrived. "There's our star," my mom said, rushing over to hug her. My dad stood up and pulled out a chair for her. Meanwhile, I had been there for almost an hour helping set the table. No one had even noticed. Melissa worked at a luxury travel company. She posted pictures of tropical beaches, five-star hotels, and champagne brunches online every week. My parents loved bragging about it. "Melissa just closed a huge client last week," my father announced proudly as we started eating. My mother nodded. "She's doing so well. We're so proud." Melissa smiled modestly, though she clearly enjoyed the attention. Then my father looked at me. "And how's work?" The way he said it made it sound like an afterthought. "It's fine," I said. I worked as a data analyst at a small company. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills, and I liked the quiet routine. Still, compared to Melissa's flashy lifestyle, it never impressed my parents. Dinner continued with the usual conversations: Melissa's vacations, Melissa's promotions, Melissa's exciting life. By the time dessert arrived, I had spoken maybe 3 sentences the entire evening. Then my mother clapped her hands, suddenly. "Oh, before we forget, we have Thanksgiving gifts this year." I blinked. "Since when do we give gifts on Thanksgiving?" I asked. "Since this year," she said cheerfully. My father disappeared into the other room and returned carrying 2 envelopes. He handed the first one to Melissa. "This is for you," he said proudly. Melissa opened it and gasped. "Wait, are you serious?" She pulled out a glossy brochure. It showed a beautiful cruise ship sailing through bright blue water. "A Caribbean cruise?" she exclaimed. My mother beamed. 7 days. Balcony suite. Melissa jumped up and hugged them both. "Oh my God, thank you. This is amazing." My parents looked thrilled with her reaction. Then my father turned toward me and handed me the second envelope. "This one's yours." I opened it slowly. Inside was a small piece of paper, a $2 scratch-off lottery ticket. For a moment, I thought it might be a joke, but my parents looked completely serious. My sister laughed. "Well," she said, shrugging, "maybe you'll get lucky." My father chuckled. "Hey, someone has to win eventually." I forced a small smile and slipped the ticket back into the envelope. "Thanks," I said. Dinner wrapped up soon after. Melissa kept talking excitedly about cruise excursions and beach days. No one asked about the lottery ticket again. Later that night, I left the house and drove to a quiet gas station near my apartment. The envelope was still sitting on the passenger seat. I picked up the coin from the counter and scratched the silver surface slowly. First number, nothing. Second number, still nothing. Then the final row appeared. I froze. The numbers looked wrong. Not wrong like I lost. Wrong like I was reading them incorrectly. I scratched the prize box underneath again, and again, just to make sure. Then I stared at the amount printed on the ticket. $100 million. $100 million. My hands started shaking. For nearly a full minute, I just sat there in the car, staring at the ticket under the gas station lights. The same lottery ticket my parents gave me like a cheap afterthought had just made me one of the richest people in the state. And suddenly one thought crossed my mind. Thanksgiving dinner next year was going to feel very different. For several minutes, I just sat in my car staring at the ticket. $100 million. The number looked unreal under the gas station lights. I checked the ticket again. Then I checked the instructions on the back. Then I searched the lottery website on my phone. The numbers matched. Every single one. My heart started racing. Okay, calm down, I muttered to myself. The last thing I wanted was to lose a $100 million ticket because I panicked. So I folded it carefully, placed it back in the envelope, and drove straight home. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, the number appeared in my head again. $100 million. The next morning, I called the lottery office. The woman on the phone sounded calm, like she handled this kind of thing every day. You'll need to bring the ticket to our claims center, she explained, and make sure you sign the back of it. When I hung up, my hands were still shaking. By noon, I was sitting inside the lottery office with two officials carefully examining the ticket under bright lights. They checked the barcode, the serial numbers, the security marks. Finally, one of them smiled. Well, he said, sliding the ticket back toward me. Congratulations. My chest tightened. You are officially the winner of the $100 million jackpot. The room suddenly felt very quiet. They started explaining things, taxes, payout options, financial advisors, but I barely heard half of it. My mind kept drifting back to Thanksgiving dinner the night before. The cruise brochure, my sister's excitement, my parents' proud smiles, and then the way my father casually handed me that $2 ticket like it was nothing. I almost laughed thinking about it. 2 days later, the news became public. Apparently winning $100 million isn't something that stays secret for long. By the evening, my phone was exploding with messages. Old friends, former coworkers, people I hadn't spoken to in years. But the most interesting call came around 8 p.m. My mother. I stared at the screen for a moment before answering. Her voice sounded unusually cheerful. Sweetheart. I hadn't heard that tone in a long time. We just saw the news, she said excitedly. My father's voice shouted in the background. Put it on speaker. Then my sister's voice joined in. Oh my God, this is insane. Suddenly, the entire family sounded very interested in talking to me. My mother laughed nervously. Well, looks like that little lottery ticket turned out to be pretty lucky. Huh? I leaned back on my couch. Funny, 2 days ago, it had been an afterthought. Now, it was the most important thing in the house. Then my father spoke. You know, he said slowly, family should celebrate good fortune together. And the way he said it made something very clear. They weren't calling to congratulate me. They were calling because they already had plans for my money. I listened quietly as they talked about family vacations and investments. Then I smiled. Funny, I said, 2 days ago I was only worth a $2 ticket to you. Silence. The cruise was Melissa's gift, my father muttered. Exactly, I replied. So the $100 million must be mine. I hung up. Next Thanksgiving, I still showed up. I brought one gift for each of them. 3 $2 lottery tickets. Who knows, I said, smiling, maybe you'll get lucky too.